are going to go talk about recruiting. So my UGA recruiting wish list. This is where we're gonna start things off. Let's keep it positive. I was being a negative Nancy, negative Nelly. I don't know, Debbie Downer. One of those alliterative downer terms. So this is my recruiting wish list for the 2026 class. So first and foremost, let's just get it right out of the way here. Jared Curtis at the quarterback position. It feels like Jared Curtis feels like he's become a must get in this 2026 class. Like, because of the way Georgia has recruited in recent years, it's almost felt like it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. You plug in the quarterback with what Georgia's got on the talent around him, like you'll be fine. And then you saw last year where we didn't have the talent just all around the quarterback. The quarterback was doing what he could despite the talent around him, it felt like at times last year. So I look at Jared Curtis, and we got Gunnar Stockton. Maybe Gunnar Stockton comes in, he's all conference, and, Georgia doesn't skip a beat. Or maybe Georgia improves from what they were a year ago. Hopefully they improve what they were a year ago. But Jared Curtis, the number one quarterback in the 2026 class from Nashville, Tennessee, former commit of Georgia, but it felt like he was one, as soon as he decommitted, it was like, I really respect that kind of decommitment. Like, he's not committed, so he decommitted. That doesn't mean that Georgia is not in the running anymore. So I think for that, I like, you might, if you're going to take visits all over the place, you might as well not be committed. So, but Georgia was never out of it as long as he's in the process, right? So Mike Bobo is really close to Curtis in this recruitment. So, I know Georgia fans have their opinions about Bobo, but if he helps land the number one quarterback in the country, maybe some of the pressure gets off him a little bit. Probably not, but maybe. And then the number one and number two offensive tackles in the country, number one and two players in the country. And I think Jared Curtis is the third ranked player. Is that right? Is he third or fourth? I want to say currently in the rankings, he's fourth. So Jackson Cantwell, number one player in the country, just released his top six that had Georgia in it. Emmanuel Iheanacho out of Virginia. Or is he from Maryland? Yeah, he's out of Maryland, out of Baltimore. Number two player in the country. Like, Georgia has had and this is what I kind of alluded to, last week. That Georgia's had so many elite, just prototype NFL offensive linemen come through during the Kirby Smart era, and this past year you just didn't really have any of those. Jared Wilson getting second round love this year, but you just haven't really. They don't really have the Amarius Mims, the Andrew Thomas, the Isaiah Wilson type. So getting a Jackson Cantwell, Emmanuel Iheanacho, to one of those just like prototype offensive linemen, like you need big bodies in the trenches, and Georgia definitely needs to improve the offensive line. So I'm definitely putting those guys at the top of my list. Then the next one, Tyler Atkinson out of Grayson here in Loganville, Georgia. I say here because I'm like, that's probably like 20 minutes away from me. So this Tyler Atkinson, only five-star linebacker from Grayson, like I said, from the state of Georgia, only 5-star from the state of Georgia in this class, which is kind of shocking. You go back in Caleb Downs' class, actually in 2023, also only had 1 5-star. But you go back, I mean, last year, four 5-stars. 2024, there was 4. 2022, there was 4. 21, there was 4. 2020, there was 4. 2019 and 2018, you had 6 5-stars in that class, 3 in 2017, and then 5 in 2016. So, like, you're usually having a handful of 5-stars in the state of Georgia every year, and this year, Tyler Atkinson is the only one. So, things can change between now and signing day and their final rankings and everything like that. But I found that to be very interesting. Like, and if you look at if there's one position that Georgia has had success with when it comes to 5-stars coming out of the state of Georgia, it's been that linebacker position. You signed Zayden Walker in this past year's class, Smile Munden a couple years ago. before that. And then I guess you go back to like 2018, Quay Walker and Adam Anderson in that class. But Georgia's landed almost all the 5-star linebackers out of the state. I think just Sammy Brown, Barrett Carter, and Owen Papo are the only ones I could find that I think Georgia hasn't landed in the last 7-8 years, or 8 or 9 years, I think. So I like Georgia's chances when it comes to landing the top linebacker in the state, top linebacker in America, I believe. Tyler Atkinson, 9th overall player in On3's industry rankings. Because I saw a stat, like one of these graphics for the Super Bowl, and it was like the players from each state, like the state with the most players playing in the Super Bowl, and Georgia was a close fourth. I think they had was it 6 or 8 players in the Super Bowl? They were right behind Texas, Florida, and California, like most things, like just 3 states that are just way bigger than Georgia, just are barely producing more NFL players. In some years, not producing as many NFL players or as many 4 and 5-star prospects. It's insane the talent that comes out of the state of Georgia. But all that to say, let's get back to the running back position. The number 1 and number 2 running backs in the country this year both have Georgia on their mind. I think Savion Hyder out of the state of Virginia, this guy's 5'11", close to 6 feet, 190, and Derek Cooper out of the state of Florida, out of Chaminade, he's about 6'1", 190. So I need to see Georgia doing the running back U thing again. It's funny how Georgia fans complained about, we need to pass the ball more, and now after a couple years of passing and not winning championships, it was like, let's get back to running the damn ball, Bobo. So I think Savion Hyder and Derek Cooper, if Georgia's able to get one, if not both of these guys, I know both of these guys might be a pipe dream, but hey, this is my wish list, sir, and I get to do what I want, or ma'am, whoever's listening out there. But yeah, if Georgia was able to bring in a duo like Derek Cooper and Savion Hyder, I'd be absolutely thrilled with that. Sign me up right now. Next on my wish list, let's go to the tight end position. I'm going to start with Mark Bowman, and not the MLB writer. This is a guy who's from Mater Dei, from the state of California. Was a class of 2027 guy. He's reclassified to the 2026. And I will start with this. I am never going to compare anyone to Brock Bowers. As far as that's concerned, I'll never compare anyone to probably Brock Bowers, Jalen Carter, or Roquan Smith. Is that just like a declaration just right off the top? I'm never going to compare any recruit to any of those guys. If they have 2 amazing years at Georgia, I might start to throw out some comparisons like that. Nakobe Dean wasn't Roquan, but he was damn good. But those guys, as far as I'm concerned, Brock Bowers, Jalen Carter, Roquan, those are going to be the best guys at that position that we ever see play at Georgia. So that, with that caveat, Mark Bowman is not Brock Bowers, but apparently he basically idolizes Brock Bowers. Wears number 19. Not sure if it's a Dylan Raiola, Patrick Mahomes type of situation. Hopefully it doesn't go to that level. But he's from the state of California, wears number 19, kind of models his game after Bowers. He is supposed to be a very dynamic athlete, 6'4", 220 right now, and a guy who's a junior in high school. I guess a guy who should be a sophomore, sophomore rising junior, and instead he is a junior and he will be a senior next year. So, or next school year. So Mark Bowman, I'm definitely getting excited about that guy. If you just tease the word Brock Bowers to me, my ears perk up. So I really want to get this guy, as well as Caden Prothrow. He's a top 50 recruit in this class out of the state of Georgia. And you've seen some crystal ball predictions for Georgia for him as well. So if Georgia can continue that big time history of tight end recruiting, they signed Ethan Barbour and Elias Williams in this last class. I got a dog whining behind me. A few people can see him here, but hopefully it doesn't disturb everybody. But yeah, so if Georgia's just no one's recruited the tight end position the way Georgia has. So it's like if they sign two more good ones in 2026, I don't think that would surprise anybody.